Welcome back to Narrow Path Doctrine. My name is Jim. You know, when it comes to the sovereignty of God, I don't think there is any book quite like the book of Job. I want to talk about one single passage in the book of Job here today. It's Job 23:14. It says, "For he performeth the thing that is appointed for me, and many such things are with him." I want to dig down deeper into exactly what this verse means. We'll do that here next. Job speaks the words of our verse here today, not from comfort, but from deep affliction. He is a righteous man, brought low, stripped of health, wealth, and companionship. Yet, in the midst of unanswered questions, Job does not accuse God of carelessness or uncertainty. He confesses purpose. Job does not say God is trying to work something out. He doesn't say God reacts to the circumstances that are happening. He says God performeth what is appointed. This is faith speaking under pressure. So in the first portion of our verse here, it says, "For he performeth." The word performeth is decisive and active here. God does not merely decree and step back to see what happens. He carries out what he has ordained. Scripture consistently presents God as the one who both purposes and executes his will, contrary to what a lot of teachers and preachers say out there. Isaiah 46:10 tells us this, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, "My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." God's sovereignty is not theoretical, it is operational. What he appoints, he accomplishes. This leaves no room for a frustrated God, a waiting God, or a God dependent upon human permission. The next part of our verse here reads, "The thing that is appointed for me." Job speaks personally here, not merely about history, nations, or creation, but about me. Affliction is not random. Nothing is random. Suffering is not accidental. Nothing is accidental. Every trial that touched Job passed first through the decree of God. Something really important to keep in mind there. This doesn't make God unjust. It magnifies his wisdom. Lamentations 3:37 through 38 reads, "Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commandeth it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good?" A lot of people don't like that verse, but that's what it says. Job does not claim to understand the why here. He rests in the who. This is where true submission lives, not in explanation, but in trust. We need to do that each and every day in our walk with the Lord. Now, Job does not excuse sin. He doesn't blame God for wrongdoing. He acknowledges God's rule without denying human accountability. This is the biblical balance taught by Scripture, not philosophical systems, but divine revelation. God ordains all things, not some things, not a few things here and a few things there, but all things. Man remains responsible before him. You figure it out. Yeah, I know, but it's there in Scripture all over the place. Proverbs 16:9 tells us, "A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps." Job never claims innocence from responsibility. He claims confidence in God's governance. The last part of our verse reads, "And many such things are with him." This final phrase expands the truth beyond Job's individual case. What God did for Job is not unique. God governs many such things. Every life, every trial, every blessing, every judgment, all are held within the counsel of God. Ephesians 1:11 says, "In whom also we have obtained an inheritance, being predestinated according to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his own will." Not some things, not most things like we mentioned before, but all things. This includes salvation and reprobation, mercy and judgment, ease and affliction. Nothing escapes his hand. For the child of God, this doctrine is not terror, it's actually a refuge. If suffering were meaningless, it would crush us. If events were random, we would despair. But if God performs what he appoints, then our trials are measured, purposeful, and temporary. So important to keep in mind. Romans 8:28 too, a great verse, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Job did not yet see restoration, but he trusted the God who performs. This verse is also a warning to those who exalt human autonomy or free will. This is a warning to all those free willers all over YouTube. God is not adjusted to man's will. God is not revised by human plans. God does not negotiate his decrees. Daniel 4:35 says, "And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing. And he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand or say unto him, What doest thou?" To resist this truth is not humility, it's actually rebellion against God. So, in conclusion, Job 23:14 calls us to bow before a God who reigns absolutely. He appoints, he performs, he's never late, and he is never mistaken. The question is not whether God is sovereign, the question is whether we will trust him when his purposes are hidden. Job did, and we should too. All right, thank you so much for joining me here today. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, share it with others so they can know the truth about who God really is. And if you have not subscribed to the channel as of yet, please do so and click the notification bell to get updates when new videos like this one come out here on the channel. So until next time, remember, true doctrine matters. God bless. An answer to prayer.